And that is a horse not giving you the correct response because of training, whether a lack of training or poor training, or pain, or attitude. Hello, welcome to Tim Anderson Horse Training. We've got actually two new additions to the ranch. We have this new horse that's in for training named Harley, and a brand new baby that was just born day before yesterday. So I'm going to work Harley first and show you what we're doing, and then I'll show you the brand new baby that was just born. So first I want to say I've had quite a few new subscribers over the last few days, week or so. And I want to thank you for subscribing. If you're a new subscriber, thank you. If you've been around a while, thank you for sticking with me. There's a lot of exciting things going on, a lot of horse stuff to learn about and see, and ranch stuff in general. And I'm excited to show you what I have to show you. But anyway, this is Harley. This is, I think she's about an 8-year-old mare. And she is here for training because the owner said that she is spooky. And she has been kind of snorty. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to show in just a minute. And but there's some things that's going on that I've seen that I want to talk about. She is spooky, but she's not. And it kind of goes back to something that I've wanted to do a video on for a while, but I really haven't had the right situation. And that is a horse not giving you the correct response because of training, whether a lack of training or poor training, or pain, or attitude. So generally, if a horse doesn't give you the response that you want, it's because of one of those three things: either training, pain, or attitude. So this horse is here because it's spooky. And what I've seen, I genuinely think this horse acts spooky in certain situations. But there's been a couple of situations that I expected her to be spooky and she didn't. Which tells me that the spookiness is a little bit different than what you generally think of as a spooky horse. So even though she is spooky, and I genuinely think that she is spooky, I think that her problem isn't necessarily training, which generally you think of spooky you would fix with training, as I think hers is a little bit more attitude. Because it seems to be what I've seen, and I've got a couple of video clips I'm going to show you. She's spooky when it's convenient for her. And the reason I want to talk about this is I see a lot of stuff come up on a lot of the Facebook training groups and horse groups, and somebody will post a video about a horse and whatever's not going right, and people will post, well, you need to get the vet to come take a look at it, you need to get the teeth checked, you need to get a chiropractor. And not saying that all those aren't legitimate things, but most people can't afford to pay several $100s for a vet check with x-rays, or have the vet come out or a dentist come out and look at the teeth, have a chiropractor come out and check for misalignment. And you have to have something to kind of, some knowledge to narrow down the problem. I mean, if you get a vet to come out and look over the horse, I guarantee there is something that could be improved on that horse. If you get a farrier to come out, there is something. That farrier can help you do something with the feet. There's a chiropractor. If you pay a chiropractor to come out, they're going to be out of adjustment somewhere most of the time. You need to be able to narrow down the situation that's at hand with what the actual problem is. You could spend several $100s with the vet, some money with the chiropractor, money with the farrier, money for blood tests and all that, and you can rule all that out and say, okay, we have a training issue. Most people can't afford that. So I'm going to try to give you a little bit to think about, and this isn't necessarily hard and fast rules, things to look at and think about to try to help you narrow down whether what your horse has is a training problem, a pain, or attitude. So that's what I want to talk about with this horse. This horse just came in yesterday. This is the first time that I've worked with this horse out here, but I've been watching her in the stall since she came in, and some light bulbs have, some red flags have come up, which tells me that there's a little bit more going on here than just spooky. Like I said, she's spooky when it's convenient for her. So see, she just reacted to a horse out there. Genuinely spooky, but not the appropriate reaction for what just happened. Now, one of the things, now see her getting in my space, I'm not going to accept that. Cannot get in my space. One of the things that I asked the owner when they brought the horse, because I saw a couple of things then, is this horse a dominant horse in the pasture, or is this horse at the bottom of the herd in the pasture? And what the owner told me is that this horse is at the bottom. So what I am seeing here so far, it might change when we start working, I'm seeing a horse that has been bullied in the pasture a little bit and doesn't have any self-confidence, basically, so to speak, and doesn't have a leader that it trusts. So even though this horse is out in the pasture with other horses, it's almost worse than if the horse was by himself, because it doesn't have a leader, and the horses that are there, I think, are possibly bullying this horse a little bit. And all this that I'm telling you is just what I am gathering together from what I've seen. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to work the horse a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the horse a job. I'm going to reward when what I asked for is good. I'm going to put the horse to work when the horse gives me a negative response. And if my guesses are correct, the spookiness should go away when I start to become this horse's leader. So I've never saddled this horse, bridled or anything, so we're going to see how it goes. There might be other holes in this horse that I'll find. I'm going to grab the bridle. Almost always when I get a new horse to work, I put the bridle on when I'm in the round pen here, starting my groundwork. I put the bridle on first. Now you'll see I have a rope halter on with the lead rope attached to the bottom. So we're going to put the bridle on. Let's see how she takes it. First time I put a bridle on her, we'll see how she does. Now I am going to act like I'm in charge. I'm going to put the bridle up between her teeth. Took the bridle pretty nice. Whatever this horse does as far as acting spooky, I'm not going to react. I'm going to make sure I'm not in a place where the spookiness is going to get me in trouble. But I'm going to have a perception to the horse that, what is the issue? That wasn't scary. So that the horse starts to look at me and think, well, dang, he's got some confidence. This is who I want to follow. So just put the bridle on. That's good. Now the pack. I'm going to, like I can be, not be. We'll see. Throw it up there. Now, this is one thing right off the bat I want to say. If this was truly a spooky horse, that horse should have spooked as soon as that saddle pad hit its back. Which tells me what I'm dealing with is exhibiting as spooky, but the actual problem is attitude and this horse needing a leader. So, through the pad up there, let's grab the saddle. Dang, I'm gonna throw this saddle up there like this horse to be broke. I'd like to see her chewing. She's not, which tells me she is a little bit tense. Let's turn her around for a minute to girth her up. It tells me she is a little bit tense. Drastic reactions either. So, a saddle pad for the correct size girth. Now, if you haven't seen my video on saddling and bridling, it probably would be a good video to watch. I'm very meticulous about little things and how I do it. Notice I'm not anywhere in front of this horse. If this horse goes or jump or whatever, I'm gonna saddle down tight enough so that if the horse jumps, bucks, runs off, the saddle's gonna stay. To make the horse worry about the saddle being tightened up. That's on there pretty good. Now I'm just gonna ask, it's not on tight enough for me to get on, but it is on tight. The horse is not going to, the saddle will fall off the horse. Now, I'm gonna ask her to back up a couple steps. Let's see what we get. I wanna see how tense her body is and how her reaction is to being told what to do. That's really what I'm wanting to see, is her reaction about being told what to do. She's tense. Like that. Good girl. Now, if I lunge her forward, I expect she probably would buck a little bit. Her back is round a little bit. There's the chew. That's all. She is starting to accept what I'm doing as okay and me okay. Let's ask for another couple steps backwards. Good girl. She's still pretty tense. So, I am not going to lunge this horse. I don't want to put her in a position where she is making any decisions. I want to be the leader, so I'm going to keep her in a situation as best I can where I'm making the decisions and I'm telling her what to do. I'm working on her spookiness and I'm working on her accepting me as the leader. As we're standing here, I'm seeing her pole start to fall. It's another thing to take note of. I'm liking what I'm seeing with this horse. Now this is telling me that so far I think I'm reading this horse correctly. So she's starting to relax. She just took a deep breath and kind of lowered her head. She's like, okay, I'm glad somebody else is making the decisions because they are really stressing me out. So that's what I want. I want her to be okay with making the decisions. I'm going to grab my lunge line up here, but I'm not going to lunge. Let's take a couple steps forward. I'm going to stay in position so that if she does buck and run off, that I'm going to be in a safe place. There we go. She's locked up. I want her to come this way, but I don't want her to be in front of her. There we go. Good. Good girl. My line. Pull her back around this way. Now you see I attached my lunge line. For now it's attached to the bottom. Same place the lead rope was attached. But you see, she worried, but I didn't react to her reaction. If I would have backed up as a reaction to her, then I'm substantiating her reaction of that being something scary. Okay? So her reaction was that scary. My reaction is, well, it's just a rope. What's the issue? And then when she saw that I didn't react, she softened back again. That's exactly the reaction that I'm working towards. So I'm going to sack her out with this rope just a little bit. She just showed me she's a little worried about it. I'm going to show her there's nothing here to be worried about. Touch her with it. In just a minute, I'm going to tighten that saddle. She'd let that breath of air out, so I'm sure it's a little bit looser than it was. Good girl. Good. Same thing on the other side. It's not good girl. Tighten one hole. Yep. Loose. Get two more before I get on her back, and probably are not going to get on her back today. We'll see. Before I get on her back, I want to make sure that she does truly accept me as her leader. One of the things that the owner told me is that she has run off before, and she said it didn't work, she just run off. And my suspicion, whatever it is that she got in a position where she was scared. The rider reacted to her reaction, and the rider became scared, not necessarily because whatever scared her was scary to them. I think she scared them, and then both of their reaction was scared to go from there. So let's see what we got. And while I'm doing this, I'll talk. It has not shown me anything anywhere to tell me. She has not. Good girl. When I put the bit in her mouth, she didn't do anything with her teeth to tell me that she had any points in her mouth that was hurting. When I put it on, as I'm tightening up, she is rounding her back a little bit, but more so in a matter of worried about it, not scared about it. See, now if she was truly a spooky horse, I've never done this with her. I mean, somebody could have, I don't really know. If she was truly spooky because of training, I do this with young horses all the time. As soon as it touches their butt, they kind of lower their butt and scoot forward. I'm not seeing that with her, which tells me that her issue isn't necessarily training. It is confidence and attitude. Make sure I stay in a position. She was not going to kick at the rope that time. You saw her leg come up and forward and rub. If she was going to kick at the rope, it would have come up and threatened backwards. That's little things that's really important that you take note of. That didn't recognize that movement. Real easy to say, oh, she's a kicker. I have not seen anything yet telling me this horse is a kicker. All right, turn her around and do the same thing on the other side. I like, see how soft her front end was? Let's get back just a little bit. She stepped around her front end nice and soft. Now front end move, back in planet. Back up. Good girl. Now let's do the same thing on this side. Make sure you ain't in the way of the camera. Chewing like that. Good. Get just barrel. All right. Close to tight enough to get on, we'll see. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this rope, I'm going to throw the whole thing over her. Got to be real careful, because this rope is going to back over there, which is, that's going to make her spook this way. So what I'm going to do is kind of stand just off center. Look like a spooky horse. This horse is that this horse needs a leader, and not needing a leader is displaying itself as spooky. Okay, what I'm going to do here, I haven't been working her very long, but what I have accomplished, I really let her, and actually, okay, well, glad somebody, they were really stressing me out. Before I push her to a point past what she can handle, because I don't really know, it's the first time I've worked, I want to make sure that I stop on positive improvement. If we stop here and she gets to think about, hey, I didn't have to work hard, I didn't sweat hard, he made the decision, I didn't have to think hard, nothing ate me, she's going to think, hey, because of what I'm getting here, I'm going to stop. And this, just right off the bat, seems like a really nice horse. I like what I have here. I like what this horse is giving me. Horse is sensible, and I'm excited to see what I can do with this horse. I'll probably stop the camera. Well, I'm going to unsaddle her and put her back in her stall and give her some hay and let her realize that this was a good experience. That's what I'm after. I'm going to go see if I can find that new baby that was born day before yesterday, or I think it was actually night before last in the middle of the night. And if I can get some video,